Tassa Ato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Good morning, everyone. So today we will be discussing a new topic, new sutta, which is called the Piṇḍapātikasuttaṃ. Piṇḍapātikasuttaṃ. It is also a very nice sutta in the Udāna Pāḷi. Before that, I lost what happened.
Hi, Bhante.
Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I think you have a lot of background noise, Bhante.
Sorry. Now, how about it now?
Yeah, it's much better now, Bhante.
How about now?
Yeah, it's better now, Bhante. Thank you, Bhante.
So, yeah. So we will continue with this sutta. It's a very nice sutta about Piṇḍapāta. Few monks had some difficulties, had some wrong thoughts about the Piṇḍapāta, going for Piṇḍapāta, and Buddha corrected it with some Dhamma advice. So anyone is willing to translate the entire sutta together with the Gatha? Any volunteer? Okay, please, someone come forward and let Dr. Ryan or Pāḷi.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that, Bhante.
Okay, that's it.
Ewang me sutang ekang samayang pagawa sawatiyang viharati chetavane anatapindikasa arame. Thus I have heard one time the Blessed One was dwelling at Chetavana Anathapindika's monastery near Savatthi. Tena ko panasamayena sambahula ng bhikkhu ng Paccāpattaṃ Piṇḍapātikasuttaṃ ng Karerimanḍala male sannisena ng sannipatita ng ayamantara katha udabadi. At the time, the in-between talk arose among many monks who returned from alms round after meal and was assembling and sitting together in the Kareri circular hall. Piṇḍapātiko avuso bhikkhu Piṇḍā yajaranto labati kalena kalang manapike chakuna rupe pasitum. Friend, the monk who collects alms while wandering for alms gets the chance now and then to see charming sights with eye. Labati kale na kalang mana pike sote na satte sotung. Get the chance now and then to hear pleasing sound with ear. Labati kale na kalang mana pike gane na gande gajitung. Get the chance now and then to smell pleasing smell with nose. Labati kale na kalang mana pike jiwa rase sajitung. Get the chance now and then to taste pleasing taste with tongue. Labati kaye na kalang manapike kaye na putape fusitang. Get the chance now and then to touch pleasing touch with body. Piṇḍapātiko avuso bhikkhu sakato garukato manito pujito apajito banda yajarati. Friend, now the monk who collects alms wonders for alms, being honored, respected, revered, venerated, worshipped. Handa uso mayam piṇḍapātika homa. Friend, now we are ones who collect alms. Mayampi lacca makale nakalang manapike chakuna rupe pasitung mayampi lacca makale nakalang manapike sote nasatte sotung mayampi lacca makale nakalang manapike gane na gande gajitung mayampi lacca makale nakalang manapike jiwaya รัสเซียอาสายิตุงมะยัมปิรัจจามะกาเลนะกาลังมะนาปิเกกาเยนะฟุตเปฟุสิตุงมะยัมปิสักกตากรุกตามนาตาปุจิตาอปจิตาปันดิยาจริสมาติปันดยาอย่าปันดยาจริสมาติ we get the chance to see a charming sight with eye, get the chance to hear charming sound with ear, get the chance to smell charming smell with nose, get the chance to taste charming taste with tongue, get the chance to touch charming touch with body. We wonder for arms being honored, respected, revered, venerated, worshipped. Ayan jarahi te sang bek kunang antarakatha ho ti vipakata. This in-between talk then was left unfinished among the monks. Atako pakawa sayan ha samayang patisalana utito ye nakare rimandala malo upasangkami toa panyate asena nisidi. Then the Blessed One, having emerged from the seclusion in the evening, approached the Kareri, a circular hall. Having approached, he sat in the prepared seat. Nisacha ho pakawa bhikkhu amantesi kaya nukta bhikkhawe etarahi kathaya sanisena kaja panavo antarakatha vipakatati. Having sat down, the Blessed One addressed the monks, you are sitting together now with what talk? And with what in between talk among you is not finished. Ida Bhante amhakang paccapattaṃ Piṇḍapātikasuttaṃ kareri mandala male sanisenanang sanipatitānaṃ ayamantarakatha o Udābādi. Venerable Sir, this in-between talk arose among us who returned from arms round after meal and was assembling and sitting together in the Kareri circular hall. Piṇḍapātiko avuso bhikkhu bandāya Piṇḍapātiko avuso bhikkhu bandāya charanto lapati kālena kālaṃ manāpike cakkuna rūpe pasitung lapati kālena kālaṃ manāpike sotena satte sotung lapati kālena kālaṃ manāpike gānena gande gayitung lapati kālena kālaṃ manāpike jivāya arasse sayitung lapati kālena kālaṃ manāpike kājena futtape fusitung. A friend, the monk who collects alms while wandering for alms, gets the chance now and then to see pleasing sights with eye, get the chance now and then to hear pleasing sound with ear, gets the chance now and then to smell pleasing smell with nose, gets the chance now and then to taste pleasing taste with tongue, gets the chance now and then to touch pleasing touch with body. Piṇḍapātiko avuso bhikkhu sakato garukato manito Pujito apachito bandaya apindaya jarati. Friend, the monk who collects alms, wandering for alms, being honored, respected, revered, venerated, worshipped. Handa wuso mayampi Piṇḍapātika homa mayampi lajja makalena kalang manapike cakkuna rupe pasitung kayena futtape fusitung mamapi sakata garukata manata pujita apacita bendaya tarisamati. Friend, now we are ones who collect alms. We get the chance to see charming, pleasing sight with eye, to touch charming, pleasing touch with body. We wonder for alms being honored, respected, revered, venerated, worshipped. Ayang ko no Bhante antarakatha vipakata atha pagawa anupatoti. Venerable Sir, this in-between talk was unfinished amongst us. Then the Blessed One came, approached. Nakwe tang pikawe tumhakang patiru pangkaluput kulaputa ng satta agarasma anagariyang papachita ng yang tumhe ewarupeng katang akathayatha. The talking of the speech of such form which you would speak is not suitable for you, who are sons of good families, who have gone forth from to homeless life, from household life out of faith. Sannipatitānaṃ wo bhikkhave dvayang karaniyang dhammi wa katha ariyo wa tunhi bhavoti. Two duties are for you having come together, righteous talk or noble silence. Atako pagkawa etamathang vinitwata yang vela yang imang udanang udanesi. Then the Blessed One, having understood this meaning, at the time uttered this utterance. Piṇḍapātikasuttaṃ bhikkhuno atta parasa ananya posino dewa bahiyanti tadino no je satta silo kanisito. Earth, the monk who collects alms, who supports his own, who does not depend on others or support others, the deities envy of one who has that quality, not if he is dependent on the fame of sound.
Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Thank you
you,
very much.
Bhante.
You translate now very fast. Very good. And it was very clear. I think everyone could understand the sutta very clearly, well translated. And we know that it was something that monks had the wrong thought. So then they had wrong thought, and Buddha corrected it. It's not the way to think, because they were thinking about the benefits of Piṇḍapāta, not in the spiritual way, but in sensual way. So therefore, Buddha said, no, it's not the proper way to think about Piṇḍapāta. Then in the end, he uttered a gatha saying that why deities praise the ones who go to Piṇḍapāta. People would praise because they are just going, but deities would praise because of their quality. So you have to have a proper mindset in order to get praised by deities, because they can read your mind. So we'll now go into the sutta. I think most of the, some of the parts are new for us here. Anyway, we'll find out how to do it. Evam me sutang ekan samayam bhagava savatyang viharati jetavane anatha pindikasara. Tena kopana samayena at that time. Sambahulānaṃ bhikkhunaṃ paccābhattam pindapāka patikkantānaṃ kareri mandala male sannisinnānaṃ sannipatitānaṃ. Ayamantarakata udapādi. These are all modifiers of the bhikkhus. Sambahulānaṃ bhikkhunaṃ, many bhikkhus. What kind of bhikkhu? Paccābhattam pindapāta patikkantānaṃ. Now these are all vikatikamma. Piṇḍapāta, who had returned from Piṇḍapāta. Piṇḍapāta patikkantānaṃ. Paccābhattam is after the meal. So normally when we have finished our meal, if we are having one meal, as soon as we finish, it's a paccābhatta for us. But normally sometimes we have two meals, breakfast and lunch. So this is normally talking about the lunch. So it's roughly around 12 or after 12. Paccābhattam, after the meal. Piṇḍapāta patikkantānaṃ. Once you have returned from Piṇḍapāta, who had stopped the Piṇḍapāta now for that day. Kareri mandalamale. This is one kind of a circular, how do you call a circular hut? Circular, how do you call it? Circular
hall.
Hall, yeah, circular hall. Mandalamala. One kind of a hall made like a hut. So it was located in between two locations, Buddha's Gandhakuti and a certain hall. So Kareri mandalamale. Sannisinnānaṃ. This shows about, now these are vikatikamma of this bhikkhu. Many bhikkhus who have returned from Piṇḍapāta who had sat. Sannisinnānaṃ. Sannipatitānaṃ, who had gathered. Where? In this circular hall. When? After meal. So this shows the time and this shows the place. Ayam antarakata udapādi. This ayam antarakata. I think we had this before in the Raja Sutta. Antarakata, between talk. Ayang antarakata Udāvādi. We had I think 2 or 3 explanations for this Antarakatha. If you look in the Rajasutta commentary, we have 3 definitions for this Antarakatha. I am Antarakatha Udāvādi. This in between talk arose. Talk in between, rough meaning is after the Piṇḍapāta and before the Dhamma talk. These were the talks. And then Piṇḍapātika, what was that talk? Piṇḍapātiko also bhikkhu Pindaya charanto labati kalena kalang manapike chakuna rupe passitu. This is the way of suttas. Also, Venerable Sir, they were talking with each other. Subject here, Piṇḍapātiko. Verb here, labati, obtains. What does he obtain? And we also have passitum. How do you call? Infinitive. The Piṇḍapātika monk obtains and sees, to see. So what does he obtain? Labati. Labati, he obtains. Then, if we analyze this sentence, it's a simple sentence, but anyway, we'll try to analyze this. Sorry. Piṇḍapātiko bhikkhu. I just omit the also. Also, we can put it in the beginning. Piṇḍapātiko bhikkhu labati. What does he obtain? These are the things that he obtains. Pindaya charanto. Another present participle that should be also considered. Pāḷi kalan. Antya. Pāḷi kalan. Manapike. Chakuna. Rupe. Passitu. This is an easy sentence for the ones who are advanced in Pāļi. But for a beginner, you can see this is completely a jumble. It's very difficult to understand what is going to happen. Pindaya charanto, take this as one word. Now these are the verbal meanings. Charanto has a action meaning. It is then passitum. Then labati. Passitum. Labati. Right? So what does he obtain? This is a problem. Does he obtain now? Rupe is objects, visible objects. Chakuna is with eye. Manapike is desirable. Kalena kalang, time to time. It's a one kind of a close. Kalena kalang, time to time. That is how we translate. Kalena kalang. Just take it as a close. Kalena kalang, time to time. So now time to time shows it is the time. Time to time, the interval. Not always. Pindaya charanto. Wandering for arms. Wandering for arms. This is charanto is present participle and it is nominative case. So it refers to the same person. The same person who does the labati is doing the charanta. That's why it's nominative. Nominative absolute. While wandering for Piṇḍapāta, it also indicates a time attribute, temporal attribute. Time to time while going for Piṇḍapāta. Chakuna is instrumental case with eye. Rupe is the objects, visible objects. Manapike is desirable. So Manapike and Rupe are same case sending. So it is desirable objects. Chakuna, with eye. Now Passitum, what it is connected? It is connected to Chakuna. Because to see you have to have an object. You have to have an instrument, eye. To see desirable objects with eye. These Manapike and Rupe are connected. They are related to the Passitum. And how that Passitum is done with Chakuna. Manapike Rupe Chakuna Passitum. That's why I said it's complicated for the beginner. Manapike Rupe Chakuna Passitum. To see desirable objects with eye. While going for Piṇḍapāta, time to time. Now we'll see Labhati. What does he obtain? Does he obtain Rupe? Does he obtain visible objects? Or does he obtain Piṇḍapāta? Or does he obtain to see? Piṇḍapāta, Pindhaya Charanto is connected to the Charanto. It's not for Labhati, for Piṇḍapāta, wandering for Piṇḍapāta. So there's no connection between Pindhaya and Labhati. Then someone can argue, he obtained Rupa. Does he obtain Rupa? Does he get the Rupas? No. He gets to see the Rupas. We go into a house, we see a very beautiful person or a beautiful thing. We are not going to get it as Piṇḍapāta Bhikkhu. We get the opportunity to see it, to enjoy it. It's not obtaining Rupa. We obtain to see the Rupa. So therefore, Labhati, object of Labhati, if someone asks, it's Passitum. To see the objects. So, this is how we arrange the sentence. Also. Also. Piṇḍapātiko Bhikkhu Pindaya Charanto while wandering Piṇḍapāta. Kālena kāla. Time to time. Because not always, when we go to a poor house in Piṇḍapāta, we are not going to see any beautiful thing. So only when we go into a luxurious or a rich man's house, we'll get all these things. Or when we go to a beautiful city, not to a dirty village. Or a beautiful village, we see this. Not to a dirty place, dirty city or a dirty village. Also, Venerable says, Piṇḍapātiko Bhikkhu, the monk who go for Piṇḍapāta, one who depends on Piṇḍapāta, while going for Piṇḍapāta, time to time, kālena kālam, Manapike, Rupe, Chakuna, Passitum, Labhati. Someone can argue, can't we connect Labhati with Rupe? Kālena kālaṃ, Manapike Rupe, Labhati Chakuna Passitum. It's another way of saying. He obtains the Rupas to see with the eye. He obtains the Rupas to see with the eye. So then a question comes, does he obtain the Rupa? Does he get the Rupa? So it normally, it doesn't obtain such Rupa. He normally gets the opportunity to see the Rupa. He got the opportunity to see the Rupa. So this is how we translate this. This is how we translate this. So we'll, before the discussion, we'll go into the conclude all the paragraph first. Labati ka, now here again starts with Labati, because he doesn't need to say Piṇḍapātiko also, because it has already been said. And also Bhikkhu, Pindaya Charanto, they are all same. So we already mentioned, close by two sentences have the same subject, same instrument, same object, same dative. You don't need to repeat it. You just need to repeat what is new. So here, even it was said, Piṇḍapātiko also Bhikkhu Pindaya Charanto Labati Kālena Kālam Manāpike Chakkhuna Rūpe Passitum Manāpike Sotena Sadde Sotum Manāpike Ganena Gande Gaitum. It's still enough. Even Kālena Kālam is not necessary. But here, Labati also is not necessary. Right? So, but here it has been mentioned. So, how do we understand? Piṇḍapātiko Bhikkhu also Pindaya Charanto Kālena Kālam Labati Kālena Kālam Manāpike Sotena Sadde Sotum. Gets the opportunity to listen to sounds. Kālena Kālam Labati Kālena Kālam Manāpike Ganena Gande Gaitum. To smell sweet odor with the nose. Labati Kālena Kālam Manāpike Jivhaya Rase Sayatum. To taste the sweet taste with the tongue. Labati Kālena Kālam Manāpike Kāyena Pottabe Pussitum. Gets the opportunity to touch, to feel comfortable touches with the body. Piṇḍapātiko also Bhikkhu Sakkato Garukato Manito Pujito Apachito Pindaya Charati. The commentary says up till here it's the enjoyment with the five senses. This is the sixth sense, the mind. Enjoyment with the sixth sense. Because Piṇḍapātiko also Bhikkhu. Venerable sir, the monk who go for Piṇḍapāta, depend on Piṇḍapāta. How does he wander? Charati. Piṇḍapātiko Bhikkhu Charati wanders. How? Pindaya Charati goes for Piṇḍapāta. Apachito, Pujito, Manito, Garukato, Sakkato. Respected, venerated, offered, right? All similar meaning, very close by meaning. So all says they venerate. He practice, he goes for Piṇḍapāta, having been venerated. Apachito Hutva, Sakkato Hutva, Garukato Hutva, Manito Hutva, Pujito. It's not the function of verb, because past participles have function. It can function as a verb, it can function as an adjective, it can function as a noun, it could function as a absolute, dative, genitive, locative and genitive absolute, nominative absolute. Nominative absolute of a past participle, not the present part. Past participle is equal to a gerund, working as a gerund. Sakkato Hutva, being expected. Garukato Hutva, being venerated. Manito Hutva, Pujito Hutva, being worshipped. Apachito Hutva. So all refers being respected, having been respected. Hutva. So he wanders for Piṇḍapāta, having been respected by people. So when we receive the respect, it's a one kind of a pleasant feeling. Respecting means, they say the Supatipanno verse, they say this monk is very virtuous, very good, very nice, very pleasant to see because of his good behavior and so forth. Anda also, then venerable sirs. Anda is one kind of a word for while addressing. Mayampi, we also, Mayang Api, we also. Piṇḍapātika Homa, we also become Piṇḍapātikas. Why is that? Because Piṇḍapātika monk gets all these good opportunity to see and feel all these senses, and also he'll be respected. So why don't we become Piṇḍapātikas? It's very good. Mayampi, when we go for become Piṇḍapāta, Mayampi, then we also Lachama. Lachama is Labissama. It's a future tense. Labissama. Become Lachama. Lab plus Sama. Become Lachama. BHS. This has become CCH. Right? I think maybe there's a philological influence to that because of some dialects of Eastern and Western. I don't remember it actually. We also labisama, will get, will obtain, time to time, will obtain to see, we all will obtain to see pleasant objects with eyes, time to time. Mayampi lacham kalena kalang manapike sotena sadde sotum. Here Mayampi has been repeated. The subject has been, even if they don't repeat, it's okay. We also will obtain sweet sounds to hear with our ears. Mayampi lachama kalena kalang manapike ghanena gande gai. We'll also obtain to smell sweet odor with our nose. Mayampi lachama kalena kalang manapike jivaya rasesa. We'll also obtain to taste pleasant sweet taste with our tongue, sweet flavors with our tongue. Mayampi lachama kalena kalang manapike kayena pottabbe pusito. We'll also obtain time to time to feel comfortable touches with our body. Mayampi, we also sakkata, garukata, manita, pujita, apachita, pindacharasa. We'll also will wonder for Piṇḍapāta, being respected, venerated by the people. Ayang charahi, ayang, this charahi has no meaning. If you go to Rajasutta commentary, you find a similar usage was there. Charahi has no meaning. Ayang, this charahi has no meaning. Ayang tesam bhikkūnaṃ antarakata vipakata. Ayang, just forget the charahi. Tesam bhikkhunam. Antarakata. Vipakata. Oti. Vipakata is the verb. Oti adds, completes the sentence, but actual meaning is vipakata. Was left unfinished. Vipakata. If something was left unfinished, it's called vipakata. It's a nominative singular. Why is that singular? The subject is antara katha, in between talk. Katha is feminine gender. Singular. So vipakata was written feminine singular. Antara katha, vipakata hoti. The in between talk was left unfinished. Who's in between talk? Tesam bhikkhunam, those monks. Ayang. This in between talk, which we already discussed, the obtaining of pleasant objects discussed by the monks. That in between talk was left unfinished. Was left unfinished. Yeah, we'll try to finish it. We can get it all. Atako Bhagava, then the blessed one. Sayanna samayam patisallana vuttito yena kareri mandalamalo tenukasa. The last part you can understand. Yena kareri mandalamalo, where the kareri circular hall was there, he approached there. Vuttito, having stood up. It's a nominative past participle. It's like a gerund. Vuttito, vuttahitva, having stood up, having emerged from what? Patisallana, from his seclusion. Sayanna samayam, during the evening. Then the blessed one in the evening, having emerged from his seclusion, maybe his meditation or maybe his sleep, yena kareri mandalamalo tenukasa. Approached the kareri mandalamalo. Upasankamitva, panyatte asane nisidi. Upasankamitva sat, having approached gerund, sat nisidi. Where panyatte asane. Asana is seat, prepared, panyatta. In the prepared seat. Nisajjako Bhagavan, Nisajja, having sat, is a past participle. Upasankamitva. So, Upasankami ends the previous sentence, starts with the gerund. Upasankamitva. Nisidi, the ending verb, starting with the gerund. Nisajja. So, Bhagava, the blessed one, having sat. Bhikkhu amantesi. He addressed the monks. Kaya nutta bhikkave etarahi kataya sannisinna. Kapana ko antara kata bhikkavata. Kaya nutta bhikkave etarahi kataya sannisinna. Bhikkave. Right? Kaya nutta. Kaya nu. Sorry. Etarahi. Sannisinna. Kataya. We will analyze first sentence, please. The verb is atta. There is no subject here. Bhikkhave is a vocative. So subject should be tumhe. Because atta is second person plural. Asi atta is the present tense. What is the verb? Actual verb is sannisinna atta. So we have to bring this atta here. Sannisinna atta. Atta is a be verb. Asi atti santi asi atta. Second person plural. Atti santi asi atta. So be verb, it's like hoti, hota, sat, sannisinna. Plural is not feminine, masculine plural, because tumhe. So how do you know it's tumhe? Because of atta. So tumhe sannisinna atta. You sit, sat, you sit, you are sitting. Because sannisinna is a past participle, but still they are sitting. So in English we can call they are sitting. You are sitting. Kaya nutta, kaya nu etarahi kathaya sannisinna. Etarahi now. Kathaya sannisinna. Kaya kathaya. Etarahi we have to bring it here. Etarahi now. Sitting now. Kaya nu is a question. Is a question form. So we just omit this part. We just don't focus on these two words. Tumhe etarahi now. You have been sitting. The question is, with which talk? Kaya kathaya. No is a question form. Kaya kathaya etarahi sannisinna atta. Which talk have you been sitting? It's normally called upalakkana. So they upalakkana or instrument? I forgot actually. I think we discussed on this point. So anyway, so they were sitting with such a talk. So they were sitting with such a talk doesn't mean that kaya kata is the instrument of sitting. They have been sitting having such a talk. With which talk you were sitting with? Doesn't mean that sitting is the instrument for their talk. They were sitting and having a talk. Then kāpanavo bhikkhave antarakata vipakata. Ha pana, we don't need to all. Kāchapanavo bhikkhave. Vo antarakatha vipakatha. Hoti. What you have to add? Vipakata, unfinished. This is the verb actually. What is subject? Antarakata. In between talk, which was in between talk was left unfinished. Ha. Whose talk? Your talk. Wo. What? In the previous one, this was the talk of between talk of monks that was left unfinished. Now Buddha is asking, which was the in-between talk that was left unfinished? Which was the in-between talk of yours? Which was left unfinished? Wo is yours? If you see, ka vo antarakata vipakata, ayang tesam bhikkhunaṃ antarakata vipakata. Since it is ka, we have a question here. Which talk? We say this talk. Ayang kat antarakata. This talk of monks was left unfinished. Which talk of yours was left unfinished? Right? So that's how we understand this sentence. So then what happened? They replied. The Bhante here in this year. Ammahakam paccābattam Piṇḍapātikasuttaṃ kareri mandalamas male sannisinnana sannipatam ayang antarakata udapati. This ayang antarakata udapati. Ayam Mantarakata. Ayam. This in-between talk arose. Among whom? Among us. Ammahakang. Among us. So what was those modifiers of Ammahakam? Paccābattam Piṇḍapātikasuttaṃ, who had returned from Piṇḍapāta after the meal. Kareri Mandalamale Sannichinnana Sannipatina, who had sat in the circular hall of Kareri Mandala and who has gathered there. So here, Bhante, in this place, this is the in-between talk which arose among us who had returned from Piṇḍapāta and who has sat and gathered in the Kareri Mandala, gathered and sat. Then they replied, Piṇḍapātiko avso bhikkhu pindāya charanto labati kālena kālam manāpike cakkuna rūpe passito. A monk who goes to Piṇḍapāta obtains, time to time obtains beautiful object to see with the eye. Labati kālena kālam manāpan sotena saddhe soto. So it keeps on going up to here. So if they obtain, a monk who go for Piṇḍapāta, obtain pleasant sounds to hear, obtain pleasant smells to smell, odor to smell, pleasant flavors to taste, and pleasant touches to touch. And also he is being respected, wonder for Piṇḍapāta having been respected by the people. So therefore, Mayampi, Lacha, Handauso, therefore, we also, venerable sir, become Piṇḍapātika monks. So by then we'll also obtain all these beautiful objects. Beautiful objects. So then Buddha said, the last one, Nakvetam bhikkhave. They said, Ayanko no Bhante antarakata vitakata ata bhagava anupato. This was the in-between talk which was unfinished of ours. No is ours. Woe is yours. Right? Woe is yours. No is ours. So then this is the talk that has left unfinished. Atta bhagava anupato. Then the blessed one approached. Atta bhagava anupato. So then nakvetam bhikkave tumhakam patirupam kulaputtana saddha agarasma anagaryam pabbajitana yang tumhe evarupam khatang evaruping khatang patayat sannipatitanango bhikkave dvayam karaniyam dhammiva katariyo tumadamhibav. So this was, once we read this in the Raja Sutta, if you remember, they were talking about Raja Pasenadi Kosala and Ajatasattu, if I remember. They were talking about him. So this sentence is a little bit complicated. We'll try to analyze it. Na kvetam ho etam bhikkave. Bhikkave should come first. Nako etam tumhakam patirupam. Kulaputtana saddha agarasma anagaryam pabbajitana yang tumhe evaruping Katang Kataya Katang Kataya. This is a sentence that we realized before that. Bhikkave monks, Nako etang patirupang, tumhakang kulaputtanan, saddha agarasma anagaryam pabbajitana. So what is the verb of this sentence? These are relative, these are main clause. These are relative clause. We just analyze the main clause. There's no verb. Verb should be 40. Right? So how do we think? It should be a predicate. It's not going to be a past participle because we don't see a past participle here. It should be a predicate. So the predicate should be Nako etang tumhakang kulaputtana should be nominative. Predicate should be always nominative. Nako etang. This is can be nominative. Tumhakan no. Patirupang can be nominative, neuter gender. Kulaputtanang no. Saddha. Saddha can be neuter gender, but we have to analyze that. Faith. Agarasma ablative. Anaghariyang locative. Pabbajitana genitive or dative. So it should be either etang or patirupang or saddha. Now think about saddha, agarasma, anagaryam, pabbajitana. Agarasma, I mean left the household life. Anagharyam, in the homelessness. Pabbajitana, to whom that have ordained. Saddhaya. So this is the ya which has been dropped. Because out of faith, saddhaya is instrumental. Saddhaya agarasma anagaryam pabbajitana. To the monks, to the ones who ordained in the homelessness, having left from the home, out of faith, due to faith. To whom? To the ones who have ordained. Who are those ordained ones? The Kulaputtana. Saddha agarasma anagaryam pabbajitana Kulaputtana. The ones who have ordained. For the clansmen, the householders who have ordained in the homelessness. Tumhakam, to you, the householders. Tumhakam kulaputtana, agarasma anagaryam pabbajitana. To the clansmen, to you clansmen who have ordained in the homelessness, having left the house with faith. Nako etang patirupang. Patirupang is suitable. Na patirupang, not suitable. This is not suitable. So therefore, patirupang, this should be connected with patirupang. Patirupang hoti. Na hoti. Not suitable. Na patirupang hoti. Patirupang na hoti. Right? We'll just put ko. It's not necessary here. Bhikkave monks, vocative. Etang. That. What is that? Tumhakam kulaputtana. For you, the clansmen. Saddhaya agarasma anagaryam pabbajitana. Who have ordained in the homelessness, having departed from the house. This is not suitable. It's not suitable. What is that? Yang tumhe eva rupang katang katayat. Yang tumhe eva rupang katang katayat. Forget about yang. Tumhe, you, katayat, speak, would speak. Eva ruping katang, this sort of speech. You speak this sort, you would speak this sort of speech. Right? And it is not suitable. This etang is connected to yang. Here, yang, we know in such places, refers to the verb. Refers to the verb. Verb is the action. Action, how do we refer to the action? With an abstract verb, with an abstract noun. Yang katanang. Speak, speech, katanang. It's not speaks, speech. It's abstract. The yang katanang, this speak, or speech, this speech. So when you want to make it abstract, this now this is a verb, we change it into abstract nouns, still the meaning is same. Yang katanang. Katanang hoti. With speech. Right? So if this is abstract noun, how do we connect? Now this is subject and verb. Subject is nominative, verb is verb. So when the verb is made into abstract noun, the subject changes into genitive. Tumhakam. Tumhakam katanam, your speech. Eva ruping katang katanam. Object of this katana is katang. Katang is speech. Speaking of that speech. Eva ruping. Eva ruping katang. Speaking of that, you are speaking of that speech. So yang is connected to katana. And that yang is connected to eta. Yam tumhakang evaruping katang katanam. Which is the speaking of such speech. We can say tum he he also, it's possible, but normally we connect the abstract noun as a rule with the genitive case. Your speech, you are speaking of such speech, which is that is not suitable for you, the clansmen, who have gone, who have ordained in the homelessness, having departed from the home with faith. It's not suitable for you. Right? So this is what is not suitable. Eva ruping katang katanam. So how do you make it into, because young can never refer to a verb. So sometimes some grammarian will say young refer to the entire sentence. Even if we say the entire sentence, the main part of the sentence is the verb. When we refer to the sentence, it refers to the verb. Young, so when we want to change it into a grammatical understanding, verb, we have to bring it to abstract now. Katanam, young katanam. So this is how we should understand this part. So what does it mean? Such speech, speaking of such speech is not suitable for you. Atako Bhagavad, then the blessed one. Etamattam viditva, having said this. Kayang vela at that time, uttered this utterance. Uttered that one. Piṇḍapātikasuttaṃ bhikkhuno atta barassa ananya posino deva pihayanti tādino. Noche saddha sileka nisito. Noche saddha sileka nisito. So, verb is pihayanti, desires. Verb subject is devas. Deva pihayanti. To whom? Piṇḍapātikasuttaṃ bhikkhuno. To the monk who is, this dative case, because of pihayanti. To the monk who depends on Piṇḍapāta. Atta barassa, one who nourishes himself. Ananya posino, is not nourished by others, or who doesn't have the responsibility of nourishing others. Tādino, one who becomes unchanged based on the object. Such monks, devas like to such a monk of those attributes, especially a monk who goes to Piṇḍapāta. Noche saddha sileka nisito. Saddha sileka, saddha is sound. What is the sound here mentioned? Is the praise, because they thought the monk who go for Piṇḍapāta is praised by the lay people. Nisito, saddha siloka. Saddha siloka means praise about yourself. So siloka is the praising in front, and pattate asata is pasansa. Siloka and pasansa. Pasansa is the praise made while you are not there. So saddha siloka nisito. Nisita means depending on such praise. Depending on how, depending with faith, with craving. So noche saddha sileka nisito. So if you go to the commentary, you can see this. Tatta noche saddha sileka nisitoti. The meaning of this is aho, ayyo, appiccho, santutto, paramasalleka vutti titadina, parehi, kitti tabba saddha sankatang silokam. Kitti tabba sangasam. So the rough idea is the people would praise, oh, this monk is very satisfied with his own requisites. He has very good paramasalleka buddhi. He abandons the defilements, especially the craving. So there is such a praise. So that praise is called siloka. Tanhai nisito nohoti cheti atto. If he is not nisito hoti cheti, if he is not depending on such praise with craving, It is not depending so. Such person is dear to the deities. Deities do like such person. So it means that it's not only for Piṇḍapāta monks who they write. He has to be surely, because if you are Piṇḍapāta monk, you depend only on, you just need to serve yourself. You don't need to have the responsibility of serving others. And he's unshaken in various objects. But at the same time, if he's not, only if he's not depending on, not attached to the praise given to the Piṇḍapāta monks, then such monks are praised, are deared by the deities. So it's not for just for going for Piṇḍapāta, it's because they have such qualities. So therefore, a Piṇḍapāta monk have good attributes. He should not go Piṇḍapāta for the sake of what the monks have discussed here, but with good qualities, and he should not be attached to the praise. It's a very nice sutta, especially for monks. Yeah, we can have a discussion now after.
Hi, Bhante. Hello, hi, Bhante. Can you hear me?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, Bhante. My first question is about the sentence, Piṇḍapātiko avuso bhikkhu piṇḍāya charanto lapati kālena kālaṃ manapike chakkhuna rupe pasitum. So you analyze the sentence and you says that we have to connect the word lapati to pasitum. So why can't we connect that to the word kālaṃ, Bhante?
Sorry, why? Sorry.
Why can't we connect the word lapati to the word kālaṃ? Because the kālaṃ is also accusative. So kāla means the time. So in this sense, when we think of it as the chance, the opportunity.
Yes, when you think in the meaning sense, you get the time to see, right?
Yeah.
You get the time to see such objects. But the thing is, I understand you appreciate that in terms of meaning, it makes sense for sure. You get the time when you go for Piṇḍapāta to see such objects. The thing is, kālena kālaṃ has been used as a phrase in the Pāli to show that it is always connected time to time. So we don't just use kālena alone in such a case. It's mostly connected to this. Otherwise, you are telling labati kāla. Charanto kālena manapike rupe chakuna pasitum kālaṃ labati. Right? What you're saying is bring it here. Kālaṃ labati. So kālena in instrumental, with in time he obtains. But then pindāya charanto, while going to Piṇḍapāta, kālena, time in time, or timely, something like that. But the thing is, and then he obtains time to see pleasant objects with eye. Normally in the Pāli, when we comes to kālena kālaṃ, we don't remove it. We just leave it as it is. So we just translate the entire thing as time to time.
Right. Yeah. No.
Yes, I understand.
Yes. No. I can see that from the commentary. But it's just because the lapati, the set lapati, it needs an object, something.
Yeah, that's why the object, the pasitum acts as the object. Sometimes the infinitives can act as the subject either. For example, amhehi, the vasitum sakha. So here, amhehi the vasitum sakha. It is possible. Sakha is a verb. It's nipata, but it acts as a verb. What is possible? Vasitum sakha. Vasitum sakha. So here, what the teachers say, some grammarians say, it's not when we take verb, subject of Vasitung is Ammehi. But what is the verb of Sakha? What is the subject of Sakha? Who is capable? What is capable? What is capable to live? So in such sentence, they say this is the subject of the sentence. So likewise, when you say labati, the object of labati become Pasutun. The gerund, the infinitive, in some places can act as subject and as an objective.
But so what you're saying is that the sakka is act as the transitive verb,
It's a verb, yeah.
but it's transitive. Sakka is transitive.
It's possible, no, intransitive. Sakka is possible. Intransitive.
Yeah.
So this is subject.
Yeah, so because it's intransitive, so that's why it needs an infinitive.
Yeah.
But labati is transitive.
So that's why this Vasitung act as the subject of Sakka.
Right. Yeah. So it's a subject, but then in the other sentence, but this Vasitung is object.
Yeah. So Pasitung is object. So it can act as subject. It can act as object even. This infinitive can sometimes act as an object of a verb. Sometimes act as subject of a verb.
I see. I see. Okay.
Normally we see it as an infinitive, but strangely in grammar, it has such positions. It has taken such positions.
I see. Yeah, it's just that the so you said that when we see the word kale, nakalang, we have to keep them together.
Yeah, we normally keep it separately.
Okay. Yeah, just because in the dictionary, it the word kale alone, it has the meaning. It means in proper time.
Kalena also proper time, right?
Yeah, just kalena,
Okay.
it means in proper time, at the right
How does
moment.
the commentary says Kalena Kala?
Yeah, no, I mean according to commentary, then they defined it differently. They defined
Kale
it
Kale
together.
Antare.
Yeah, kale, yeah.
Tasmin Tasmin Same.
But I mean, in the dictionary, the kalena alone, it means in proper time.
In proper time. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
In proper time, they get the time to see. It makes sense.
Yeah,
It
so
makes
that's
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. And the next question is about the word nukta, Bhante. Sukaya nukta bhikkhave etarahi.
Yeah, yeah.
So here you divide it as the nu atta, and atta is the verb.
Yeah.
So why can't we divide it as the nu eta, Bhante? So here.
We can. Possible. It is possible.
Right.
But I go in here. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah. We'll go to the similar sutta, Raja Sutta commentary. No, commentary. This is Piṇḍapātikasuttaṃ. Raja Sutta. We have to go. Raja Sutta. Evam upasankamitva. Right here. Kaya nutta bhikkaveti adimaha. So this word, kaya nutta bhikkave. Tattha there. Kaya nuttati. Katamaya nu bhavat. So otherwise, initially, I also translated as you said, one in the beginning. Kaya nutta is kaya etta. But after seeing this, because this is a traditional explanation, so I went into that atta idea.
I see.
Some say, you see, you are correct. Kaya netta patanti. So in that meaning, tassa katamayanu ettahati atto.
Right.
So some say not kaya nutta, kaya mit. So there is, so if you, even if you say kaya nu plus etta, it makes sense. It is correct.
Yeah.
So the commentators say in that sense, make it me instead of nu, but nu is also possible as we know in the sandhi. So therefore both are possible, but we need to keep in mind that that is the traditional explanation. But otherwise, what you say is correct.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because when we say there is atta as the verb, then that sentence is not parallel, because like the first part, the Buddha
Sorry?
gives the verb. I mean that the structure of that, the whole sentence is not, that question is not in parallel, because the verb in the first part, the Buddha gives the verb. For the second part, we don't have the verb, so we have to put in the word oti. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Okay, Bhante. And then the next question is the yang tum he e waru pen katang katayata. So yes, yeah, I mean, I understand that we had the discussion, and you said that the yang refers to the whole sentence or refers to the verb, right? So, but then if someone says that, why don't we? The question is, why don't we connect it to the noun katang, yang katang?
Yang katang.
Yeah.
Etang na tumhakam patirupa. That speech is not suitable for you.
Yeah.
That talk is not suitable for you, right?
Yeah.
So in that, not that speaking, that speech is not. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. That, for example, we can say that robe is not suitable. That wearing of that robe is not suitable. Wearing such a robe is not suitable. That robe itself is not suitable. Both make the same sense, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. We can connect it. Yeah.
Okay, Bhante. And then the last question is about.
We can bring it as the third alternative.
The third alternative.
Alternative means third explanation. Either yang is referring to the whole sentence, or the verb, or the katang.
Right. I understand. I mean, I totally agree with the idea of that it refers to the whole sentence or to the verb, because it makes more sense when we say that the talking is not suitable, because the talk itself, it's just the talk. But when you engage in that kind of talk, it's not suitable.
Yes.
It makes more sense. But I mean, some people, they can say that, just grammatically, we can say that yang we connect, it connects to katang. That's fine too, right?
It's fine too. It's fine too.
Yeah.
Because the topic was not suitable as well, right?
Right. Yeah. And then the last question is about the gatha, Bhante, is the verb pahayanti. So yes. So pahayanti in the PTS dictionary, it gives two meanings. So the first meaning is to desire or long for, but it says that when it has that sense, it connects to the accusative case.
Correct.
Next to the genitive case, then it means to envy.
To envy.
Yeah.
To envy even, right?
Yes. This has to envy with genitive, a person and object.
That I'm not sure. Genitive is envy, but is it how it is mentioned in? Because if you take the deities, envy the monk.
Right. I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they gave it, because the accusative verb we found in one commentary also in Udāna. We'll find it again when we do the commentary studies, because Deva atta barang pihayanti, the commentary. We had such a similar sentence, like similar gatha. Do you remember that sutta?
Yeah, I think it's is it like the Kassapa refers to the Venerable Kassapa or something? I don't quite remember.
Udāna? Sakudana?
Yes, in Udāna, yes.
Okay.
It's like they desire just such a one that I mean like a 500 deities,
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
down and then preparing food to offer alms to the Venerable Kassapa.
Yeah, no, it was Sakka coming down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
So before this, so here you can see at the end of the commentary, Deva Pihayanti iti Satimato. Deva Pihayanti iti Satimatoti. So this one, Tang Aggapaladi Gamena Sabbakilesa Darata Parilahanang Bupasamena Patipasadhya Upasantang. Sati Vivatya Nichakalang Sato Kiriyan Satimantang. Sato Eva Ittanidasu Tadi Lakkana Pattang Kinasavam. Sakkadeo Deva Pihayanti. So it shows that accusative is also possible. The actual, I think the actual real case is accusative. It has become dative for some reason.
I see.
So, but the NV case, I'm not sure. What did they say there?
Yeah. Yeah, they said it's the genitive. It has
Right.
the ND meaning when it's connected.
But surely NV daring should have dative also, right? Because we can find it many places.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Okay, any other cues? Okay, it seems no questions, right?
Looks like no more, Bhante.
Yeah, okay. Sorry? Yes, Syali Uttama, you have a question?
Yes, Bhante, can I have a short comment?
Yeah.
About the first, can you hear me? Hello?
If you raise your voice, I would surely appreciate.
Okay. So about
Okay.
about the word, the first one, the Lapati Kalena Kalam, that one also. Because when I heard you translate it into like he gets to see the rupa, he gets to hear the sada. That is very matching with the English meaning also, because to get to see something means to get the opportunity to see it, not just to get the rupa. But
right.
But I was just having an idea, like the about the kakolokana, that one in the
Yeah.
yeah, that one like the crow.
Kakalokna, you mean?
The function of the one word that has two functions in two phrases. So I was thinking maybe this kalina kalam, this kalam can act as both the object for lapati and also act as the just like the function of the adverb kalina kalam also. So it instead of being repeated, it just one time appear, but it has two functions. Is it possible? Because
can also means labati.
Labati. Because
so labati, you can ask, what does he obtain?
Yeah, obtain. Obtain what? Obtain the kalam.
Obtain the and also rupa. he obtains to do what? To see. And what does he obtain? To the rupa. It's possible, kaka lokana, that too, it has two functions. Possible, maybe, yeah, it's, you don't need to own it to be called labati. You don't need to call it that you own it. But here, as the pasitung is more related to the labati, we normally connect it with labati. But as you said, rupe can't be connected. Possible, we can see. But rupe is more connected to pasitung. What do we see? The rupe. That's the point. What is the object of pasitung? It's rupe. Rupe is connected to pasitung. And pasitung is connected to labati. But if someone asks, can't rupe and labati have no connection? Yes, it has some connection, but little bit far, I would say.
So is there any other words apart from Sako and Lapati to have the infinitive as its object?
Infinitive that can act as an object, you mean?
Yes.
Yes, the word labati and the word labha can have this function. Like when we say labati, in many cases it gets the infinitive as the object. Gantum labati, for example. So in Vinaya we find this. So vihara gantum labati. So acharyam pasitum. Viharang. He, during the vasa, we cannot go out for many days, few days, but to see the teachers, he can go. So what does he obtain? Labati. Does he obtain to gantu vihara? Does he obtain the vihara? No. He goes to the vihara. Viharang gantu. Pasitum. To see whom? Acharyam. Does he get the acharya? No. So what does he obtain? He obtains the permission to go. Labati is connected to gantung. Viharang is the object of gantung. Gantung is object of labati. Pasitung is object of acharya. So is the subject. So viharang gantum labati. But attano dhammang ugganhitum gantung nalabati. He doesn't get the opportunity to go to the vihara to study dhamma during the vasa. You cannot stay overnight for your purpose. To pay respect to the teacher, you can go to see the teacher and so. So likewise, there are many places. This labati, in many cases, have this infinitive as the object. Labha. It's another nipata, like a verb. In that labha, in some cases, I forgot. Even khatum labha. So something like it has an infinitive. When it acts as a verb, it takes infinite places. But here we cannot connect any other. That's why here we may see critically we connect pasitum with labati. The same formula to say you get the vihara, you get the acharya. What does he obtain? He obtains to see. Even obtainment is to go during the vasa. This is what he permission he gets. Gantung labati. Not the pasitum labati, gantung labati. So even you can say he gets obtained to pasitum. So even we can omit this. So sattaha kalena viharang gantu. Acharyasya viharang gantum labati. he obtained the permission to go to the monastery of the teacher. So we cannot, even though it's accusative, we cannot connect it with Labati. It doesn't make sense. He gets the vihara. He goes to the vihara. Here is because of seeing, we just feel like maybe Labati can be connected to Rupa. In the meaning wise, it makes sense, but grammatically, it's mostly connected to this.
Okay, very clear now. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu.
What is the day then? Because I need to prepare the Sinhalese handout for the Abhidhamma class. I haven't started it yet. So,
Oh, okay, thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
oh, and on Friday,
Thank you,
we'll be
Bhante.
doing, okay, sadhu, sadhu, thank you, you're welcome. On Friday, we'll be doing, where are we? Okay, Piṇḍapāta is finished. Sippa Sutta. Also a nice sutta. Dhanusippam. Which one is Konuko Sikki? Konuko also Sippan Janati. Ko King Sippan Sikki. Hatarang Sippan Sippanang Agam. Which craft is the highest? So there was a discussion among some. So Buddha came and gave an instruction. The same thing, the Pachabhatta. When the monks have gathered, they had such a discussion. So one occasion they discuss about when there were Ajatasattu and Bimbisara and Kosala. Now about going for Piṇḍapāta for the sake of Labha. So now they are talking about Sippam, which craft, which skill is more higher. So then on Monday we'll be doing Lokasutta. And so forth. A very short sutta. No, we have few gathas here.
Yeah, but the verses are very difficult, Bhante.
Okay. Then I'll try to give a vocabulary of this and some grammatical help. So then after Lokasutta, we go to Yashoja Sutta, which is a long one, nice story about the one monk. Yeah, we'll discuss on this sutta, and then we conclude for this semester. Right. So then we have done all the first three vaggas, completed the first three vaggas. Then we can go by vagga and vagga. Now I think we are faster and more familiar with the reading, so we can go more quickly after that. Okay, so wish you all the best and thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.